My name is Pauline Walker. I'm a member of TARACC, and we have a panel of 3 young people here who have a lived experience of cancer. Okay. So I'm going to ask all our 3 panelists questions. I have a combination of 3 questions, so they can give us a real feel of what it is like to be living with cancer. What was your diagnosis? And please just share what you're comfortable in sharing.
So I had breast cancer grade 3.
I had Hodgkin's lymphoma stage 2B.
My mum was diagnosed with a cholangiocarcinoma, bile duct cancer, which is actually a very rare form of cancer.
Okay, so the impact that cancer had was it affected a lot of things. So I'm a single parent. My son was he was 2, but turning 3 at the time. So as you can imagine, being a single parent and then having to navigate cancer, dealing with the symptoms, that was extremely hard.
Over the course of my chemotherapy, obviously, there were some physical struggles and I was feeling quite sick and quite tired, but I do need to be thankful for the fact that it didn't come while I was at school or kind of education. I'd taken a gap year by that point, so thankfully I'd kind of just been out of things for a while, and I think that's really been huge.
It was probably the most isolating experience that I've ever gone through. I didn't know, and today I still don't know, many 19-year-olds whose parents had a cancer diagnosis such as my mum's. And to put it into perspective, my mum was told that she was given a year to live, but I was told she was given under 3 months. So I actually, mentally, it was definitely something that increased my anxiety in terms of looking for a person to turn to and just discuss, but it actually helped me focus on the importance of education and actually understanding how I could help my mum advocate for herself and actually navigate her care plan to get the treatment that she actually currently receives.
I'd say in the beginning, I didn't have much support just because, you're looking for certain things and you can't find it. So I would say maybe about 6 months into my treatment, I found the founder of Black Women Rising, Leanne. I found her blog, and it resonated with me. And through that, I found Black Women Rising, and then also Macmillan as well. So yeah, those were the 2 main charities that really supported me.
So over the course of my treatment, I was reached out to firstly by the Willow Foundation, who just kind of provide special days and special treats to cancer patients, and I was also reached out to by Young Lives versus Cancer, who were just great. There's a lovely woman there who came and she spoke to my mum and I about like support groups and just general grants and stuff to help out with the cost of like travel for treatment and things like that. So yeah, they were great.
Being honest with my experience, I didn't actually find any organisation to turn to, and maybe that's because I wasn't looking. Again, I did isolate myself a lot, but on the back of that, it helped me then, for me to launch the carers group, where we're able to provide support. And to be fair, when I did find of carers organisations, it went to the point of, yes, we provided support and discussed, but what was really heavy on my heart and what I was really passionate about was looking for research. I wanted answers. My mum has a very rare cancer diagnosis, and I just wanted her to live. And unfortunately for me, my peers surrounding me, my friends surrounding me, weren't able to facilitate that, and also the groups that I went to, hence why I'm so passionate about advocacy for carers and cancer patients now.
This is Mark Galloway, and he's a newly self-employed PR specialist, but has been in that field for over 41 years. You sure 41 years? You sure? You have the right paper? You don't look older than 40, darling. But this is Mark. Oh, absolutely. You're like Holoman.
So as we all know, having a diagnosis of cancer or going through that journey is challenging for even the families and the persons who are supporting those individuals, but even more so for someone who has that lived experience.
I was literally at university. I was in my 2nd year. I was actually coming up to doing my final assessments. I remember sitting down with my doctor, and he said to me, is there any history of diabetes in the family? And I said, yeah, my mum's got type 2. And it was just sort of a brief conversation. Oh, your blood sugar's a little bit high. And I just sort of took it as that. But he goes, you know what, we'll do some more investigations. And one investigation turned into another, into another, into another, into another. But there was no result, like a conclusion. What are these investigations? What is it you're investigating? The only time I've ever heard about people with cancer is dying. So, you know, when I got the diagnosis, even though the guy goes to me, it's stage 3, I just thought, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna die. That's it. Like, who am I gonna tell this to? I really didn't know what to do, who to talk to. I actually spent, I think, 7 days just sitting by myself, like trying to process it.
And so I'm assuming that when you went to hear or get the results, you're by yourself at the time?
I went by myself. Again, I wanted to take somebody with me, but I didn't want to take somebody with me.
For you, where have you found for your source of support or strength as you've gone through this journey with cancer?
2 places. I was with a group before, but it wasn't a black group. So I was looking for something a little bit more inclusive. I found Judith Nepatel, the From Me to You family, and it really changed my life, because being able to share with people who are in the same position as you, it brings a different spin. I think when you sometimes talk to friends and family, you've heard some of the speakers before me say it's difficult. Sometimes when people ride that journey with you, they become more emotional than you. So yeah, find somewhere that you feel included. And yeah. And for those of you who are wondering why Lee's here, this is the first time I've ever spoken in public about this stuff.
So I'm going to pass you over to Dolores White. Please give Dolores a round of applause.
Hi, everyone. Please allow me to share my journey with you, a journey marked by resilience, support, and newfound appreciation for life. And at this stage, I'd like to big up TARACC, because they've given me the ladies and gentlemen in the group have really given me a lot of support over the last 2 years. So in April 2018, I received the life-altering diagnosis of right breast cancer, and they said it was HER2 positive. Up to this day, I don't quite understand what that really means. To be honest with you, when the word cancer came up, I didn't see cancer, I saw DEATH. And I was scared, I was really scared. I've got 2 daughters, and the first thing that came to my mind, did I pass this gene on to them? And I was told, no. I said to the surgeon, take both breasts, because I don't need them anymore. And he said to me, I'm laughing now, but it wasn't funny at the time. He said to me, my type of cancer wasn't the type that needed mastectomy. The word cancer casts a dark shadow, challenging my sense of mortality and resilience. But luckily, surrounded by a team of professionals, I embarked on a journey of treatment and healing. First of all, I had surgery to remove the lump, which was swiftly followed by 8 sessions of chemotherapy. And trust me, some people go through chemotherapy and their experience wasn't bad, but I suffered. That was the worst thing, the chemotherapy. I had 18 rounds of Herceptin injections, 15 sessions of radiotherapy, and 3 years of Zometa infusion. And of course, they give me regular mammograms, constituted the hardest path towards remission. Yet, with each treatment, I found strength in the unwavering support of loved ones and the dedicated care of medical professionals. Cancer has honestly made me a lot more positive. Embracing positivity and surrounding myself with love and support, I emerged stronger and more resilient. Cancer may cast a shadow, but it also illuminates the profound importance of cherished relationships and the resilience of the human spirit. Together, let us dispel the stigma surrounding cancer and embrace the transformative power of community and hope. Thank you.
I'm not sure how qualified I am for this discussion, but as a recently married man of 15 years, I'm going to try my best.
Okay.
So I think that intimacy around cancer is one of the taboos, I guess, not just for people who have the experience of cancer, but even for healthcare professionals who from time to time are very timid about touching on the topic. So we're going to just be speaking quite candidly as adults. We're all big people in the room. I'm sure there was a sign outside that said only over 21s. Oh, sorry, mate. How old are you? 19. Okay, I'm going to pray for you. Don't worry, you'll be okay. So we're going to be having a very frank and open conversation.
So my name is Brian Quaver. I was diagnosed and treated with prostate cancer in 21. I'm here, still standing, and my PSA levels, that's the blood test that I use to test for prostate cancer, are undetectable.
I'm Sean Baker. I'm a cancer survivor. I was diagnosed in 2019 with prostate cancer, and fortunately it was caught in time, and since then I've been in remission.
So when we think about intimacy, we think about touch, holding hands, kissing perhaps, maybe even deeper things, but it's about that physical connection between another human being. And a lot of that is dependent upon how one feels about themselves. So
when I received my diagnosis, there was a lot of stress about the cancer, because having other members of the family who died from cancer, I know how fast it acts and how lethal it can be.
So in terms of emotions, I have a supportive partner, and I think that's important in going through any diagnosis. If you have a partner who is supportive, it helps to relieve some of that stress and some of that emotional trauma that you're going through. So to say emotionally, I was in a good place, because I know I had someone with me going through this who was there to support me.
For me, I had a very good friend, and I don't really think, during the initial going through treatment and that, obviously my mind was solely on getting better, but in the long run, I don't think it's affected my sexual desires at all.
So I was going to say that these questions sound too pretty. Do you still have a little sex? That's what I was going to ask. You killed my question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Did you still feel like you had that sex drive maybe after you had the diagnosis, or did you need some time to process?
If you're in love with someone, you want to be intimate. And when I had the diagnosis, having someone that, as I said, is supportive, it didn't affect that desire. However, as you get through the treatment, I had a prostatectomy, which is the removal of the prostate. After the removal, it affects you physically.
I think we even need it more so, because we need to feel that there's somebody out there that still loves us, that, you know, we can still do whatever we used to do. yeah, so
I think at first I was more concentrated on living,
yeah.
and interestingly, after the surgery, the doctors in my team started asking, "How is it going, Mr. Baker?" Then they suggested things like Viagra, and at first it didn't work so well. Eventually, after about 8 months, nearly a year, it was a lot more functional. On the other side of it, of course, my wife now is going through menopause, so it probably came at the right time for her. You know, so